Hey everybody, my name's Adam, and this is AI Simplified. In today's video, we're going to go over another make.com scenario that you can run in any industry as a personal assistant. This make.com is going to be able to scan incoming emails, draft responses, and then send external notifications to a Telegram bot directly to you to let you know, hey, this person has contacted, this is what it's regarding, and there is a draft ready to go, the same way that a personal assistant would. So instead of employing an assistant for, let's say, minimum wage for 30 hours a week, you're going to create this make.com scenario and rock and roll that way. Let's get into it. Okay, so in front of me here, you see the scenario in its entirety. It's super straightforward, super easy. Now, of course, you could branch off of this to do different things. If you wanted to fully send the email versus just create the draft, if you wanted to run it to a separate bot on the external here. But I like setting it up this way because most people in their business use Outlook, and most people nowadays have Telegram. And the setup, with the exception, of course, of the OpenAI API, which we've talked about in previous videos, that you would have to load money into, is completely free. I run this bot for my job personally, and it costs me maybe $5 a month, I would say, if that, maybe, to be able to run it in its entirety. So the very first module you are going to want to set up is your Microsoft Outlook module under Watch Messages. Now, as you set up these modules, obviously you're going to have to log into your accounts for each of these. We're going to talk about the Telegram bot once we get there, but for right now, we're going to keep things easy. So once you open up the Outlook module, you will pair your email to that. When you open that up, you see that you have your connection up top, which I have done. You want it to watch all of your messages. You select your folder, so obviously your main inbox folder, and then under the search, you always want to have these two here to make sure that messages are done over and over again. So what this does is just take new incoming messages, reads them, sees if they have an attachment, and then forms a draft accordingly. I leave the limit on 2 because you never want it to overdo itself in one shot. And if you run this on demand, I run mine every 15 minutes just based on my schedule, but you can also change this to on demand, which means that every time new info comes in, we'll just save that there. Literally every single time that new info comes in, so a new email comes in, the module will run. Okay, so from here, we run into our first OpenAI step, which is to create a completion. Okay, so I use 4.0 because I like having live, real information for it. 4.0 is a little bit more expensive than 3.5 Turbo. If your job is just drafting messages that you don't need real-time info right this second, use 3.5 Turbo. It's pennies on the dollar in comparison to 4.0. Okay, so under the role of developer and system, we have this. So your name and your job. Oh, whoops. Your name and your job wherever you end up working. So how I have this set up is just classifying these three. Primarily, it's going to be sales inquiry, right? Now, obviously, you can set this up however you need to for your given job, right? If you work in content creation, if you work in sales, whatever industry you work in, that's how I would set this up personally. Then, as we get down here, you want it to respond with only one of the 3 labels. We get down into email content, and then you map this from the initial message of subject and body. Okay, next module is our OpenAI create a completion for the draft to actually be written. So again, you choose your marketing agent. I use the same one because it just makes it easier for me to track my API keys a lot easier. I use 4.0, and then here is your prompt. So role as user, you want it to be yourself, your job title, and then what you were actually doing. So want it based on the message of the body preview in your original step, that you want it to write a professional and concise email draft that, and then whatever you end up needing it to be, right? That you want it to be able to answer any questions, acknowledge their stress, their complaints, whatever it ends up being, and then to create you a draft. I do the draft versus the automatic send, so I can still review everything that's going on. But this comes in, it creates a draft. I read the draft. Okay, this looks good. Send, away we go. Right? Super easy, super straightforward. The important thing for me as well is the actual temperature of the message you want to be able to adjust. The lower the temperature, the more precise, professional it is. I've landed on 0.6 being still human enough that it's a matter of thanks for the inquiry, et cetera, et cetera. It's professional. It's got customer service in mind. It looks after stuff that way, but it's not robotic, right? If you go much lower than 0.6, it becomes very robotic very quickly. So that's where I ended up there. And then once that is obviously created, we hit save. Then we go into the next one. This is the create the draft message step from Outlook. Now, again, we have that connection. For subject, you simply just map the subject line from the original one. For body content, you map the actual draft that's being created from your step 3 of your OpenAI. You can see it pulsing there to make sure that it's mapping correctly. Under email address, you simply map the sender email address : address. This is important to make sure that things are mapped correctly. And then that is it for that we save this. Now comes the Telegram step. So for the Telegram step, first and foremost, you want to, of course, go into Telegram. You are going to go into your search to find who you're going to message, and you are going to message the bot father. With the bot father, you create bots for free, right? That you can, obviously you see the number of users, that you can create whatever bot you need for your make.com scenario. Personally, I went through, opened it up, we do /start. It gives you the option of what to do. You do /new bot. How are we going to call it? You name your bot, right? And then you choose a username for your bot, right? To make it easier that way. And then you actually create the bot itself. Then you will have a chat open up for the bot. When I did mine originally, I had sent those of just hitting the /start to make sure that things were operational. And then we go from Telegram back into your make.com scenario, and then you map your Telegram bot. So you go into here, your chat ID automatically populates for you, and then your text. So you see new sales inquiry received from sender subject regarding that, and then just letting you know a draft reply has been created in your Outlook inbox. You can customize this to map whatever you want. You could have it send you the draft in theory. Whatever ends up needing to be done, you fully customize how to send off the Telegram message. The Telegram message then, of course, comes through to the Telegram on your phone. You see that the draft is created. You get the notification. You can then open up your Outlook from there, see the draft. Okay, everything looks good. Hit send. Away we go. And that's really it. Right now, there's ways to optimize this further. There's ways to build upon this further, which I will be working on. And once that's done, I'll actually create a video on it. But I am working to create a make.com scenario that I can have a conversation with the Telegram bot to be able to draft the email, make the edits, send things off, etc. To be able to go back and forth with my Telegram bot as if it was my personal assistant. This, as it sits right now, is just a secondary tool to use alongside what you do yourself. I mean, ultimately, it's easy, it's quick. You put it together, and this is going to help your productivity tenfold, right? And again, all you need is pair your Outlook, have your OpenAI, and Telegram. So 3 applications, 5 steps, and you have a personal email writing assistant. Hopefully this helps. As I said, as I create more tools, as I create more scenarios, I'm going to be posting them on YouTube. I know it's been a while since my last upload. I've gotten busy with other things, and I've been playing a lot with the Mate.com scenarios. There will be more content coming soon. Let me know what you guys think of this. Yeah. This has been AI Simplified. I'm Adam. Have a good one.